So you're struggling to easily obtain the evidence and find the ghost in Phasmophobia? Well, don't worry, because we're going to go over that here in this video, and we're going to be playing different maps on Amateur, and we're going to find and identify the ghost with evidence. It's been a minute since I've made one of these videos. I believe it was the start of last year when I did the last one, and of course things have changed. So with the Ascension update and all that, let's go over start fresh, how to find and identify the ghost. So first thing, a tip I did in that one, open the door. It's going to start to get the ghost active, and we can take items in at that point. So one thing I didn't mention, a commenter actually mentioned it, and I was like, that's actually a pretty good idea. Now, it is going to start with the timer back here, which is a safe time where the ghost can't hunt you. But really, on Amateur, your sanity is not going to drop that much to where that can be a worry. But if you want the more safe time, you can go straight in. But see, as you can see here on the activity chart, you do see the ghost already being active in there. So we know that the ghost is at least interacting with things, opening the doors, something. So we may be seeing disturbed objects, and that's what we're looking for when we go in. I didn't even grab all the items there because I forgot. Now, what you start with can be a different thing. I'm going to do it this way. We won't have to do it the next game. This is just an idea. If you are like struggling a bit to find the ghost, good way to start cooling down the ghost room, because temperatures in the house are going to be normal with the breaker on, and the ghost room will be cool. You should be able to find it a little bit more quickly. But what I'm going to do, and what I recommend, I like to start with the video camera and then a UV light and an EMF reader. Not a dots pin. So 11 ghosts have ghost orb as a piece of evidence. So that's what we want to look for. Now we can look to see, are any of these doors like moved, opened, anything like that that might help us see where the ghost is, or can we see anything? I do not see anything disturbed or moved. I do not see any ghost orbs. Garage door appears closed, and that's what you want to look for. Are there any open doors? Because then you can pinpoint the ghost that way. But again, I like to use this instead of a flashlight, just because it works pretty well as a flashlight, and you can look for orbs. I recommend closing doors for rooms that you go into, so that way if the ghost does choose to interact with it, you are going to be able to see it. So we're just going to look around, look to see if we hear anything. First off, listen for anything, but look for disturbed items and look for orbs. I'm not seeing anything here in the basement. This is where the breaker is, just in case the ghost does decide to turn it off. At some point, we are going to want to turn on these lights. At some point, we are going to want to turn on the lights, but for now, it's easier to find ghost orbs in the dark, and we just heard a door touch interact. So which one was that? We're going to use our EMF reader to look for where it is. It sounds like it's coming from down here, maybe the hallway. Let's see. Where's it at? This is weird. Okay. All right. Okay, and as you see, we see our breath. So it was this door? Alright, now that door opened, so we're checking for fingerprints. So we're checking for fingerprints. We do not see fingerprints. We do not see fingerprints on either one. This is where I would kind of be easier to say we can rule out UV fingerprints, because we checked on two different doors that we know that it interacted with. Again, we can shut these doors back, but if you also notice, the breath is going to show us that this is the room. Now, I did interact with the door again. Do not see any UV evidence. So I feel pretty comfortable marking it off that it's not going to be it. After testing it like 2 or 3 times, I feel safe if we don't have UV evidence and we know it touched a door to mark it off. You do have to be careful sometimes, though, because of the obake. Yeah. Is that out here or elsewhere? This one again? Okay. And for EMF 5, we'd be looking for it to spike up past the 5. And it's not, so I'm not really too worried about it. And now we're again looking for ghost orbs because I keep forgetting. Double check for it. Not here. So do see that it has messed with this closet too, and no fingerprints. So we can be pretty good. And kind of pretty good to kind of rule out ghost orbs as well, because we do not see any. And if we don't see any, I feel comfortable moving them out or marking them out. And since we brought everything in, Probably should have put that there, but we're going to test these couple things now. So, again, I want the lights off in the rooms around me. Or the lights on, like in the living room. Lights off in the ghost room preferably, because as we're going to start to try for to get a spirit box response, the lights need to be off. So we're going to set down the book and the thermometer, because this is more waiting evidence. So like we're going to wait for the ghost to interact with either the book or to get to freezing. What we can also do is set up a dots pin. The tier 1 dots pin is not that great. It is not, especially when you only have one. I definitely recommend as soon as you can, as soon as you have the money, buy 2. Because that's going to make your life easier. And go with that and then see if we see dots. Now we're going to test for spirit box. Are you here? Are you friendly? The test for spirit box, we need to be in the ghost room. The only problem we have is we don't know where the ghost is yet. Are you here? Okay. It's over here. So now we can come over here. We know the ghost just interacted with this. Are you here? Are you friendly? Okay. So let's take a step back now. And we actually ghost writing as well. All right. Very cool. Very cool. So what I want to explain about that trick there, and this should be another one here. Are you here? Are you friendly? All right. Now what we just saw, right? We used this to figure out where the ghost was. So notice when we were right here, we didn't get that response because we might not have been close enough to the ghost, but we saw it turn on the light. So we know the ghost was right here. And then it interacted with this door. So notice as soon as we went over here, we got that interaction with the spirit box and it spoke in it because we were close to the ghost, because we knew the location. This is why if you see where the ghost like throws an object, touches a door, or like we saw, if it ghost events on you or near you, go to the ghost event location. That's how you're going to know if you have spirit box or not. Way easier than anything else. Because you're going to know where that ghost position is. When it comes to that spirit box, it matters where the ghost is. So now, I do want to kind of turn this off. So let's look at what we have now. And we have spirit box and we have ghost writing. So they're going to be a spirit, mare, moroi, or a Diogen. We don't have ghost orbs. So I'm willing to rule out a mare. I'd rule out a mare anyways. And so we're waiting for either EMF 5, dots, or freezing. And it's interacted with a lot of stuff to be EMF 5 that we have not got yet. We can still check it out. So dots are really annoying though. Dots are really annoying. Again, it's another thing that relies on ghost position. So if you hear a ghost interact with something, like sort of move the dots that way, it might be easier just to set it on the ground and look. You can also, if you were like, man, this is getting kind of tough. What do we want to do? Then you can get it from the truck. It's just very, very difficult. What did it interact with? I heard it interact with something. This. Still not EMF 5. Do we have freezing? We do have freezing. We do have freezing. So again, that's where we just look at it occasionally. So we have freezing. And also what you're going to notice, airball goes. That would have been a good time to use the spirit box again. Be with that. What you will also notice is that our sanity was getting pretty low there, and our sanity should not be that low, but we got cursed by the Moroi.
Welcome back. I've got some jobs ready.
Or here's another little trick that you can do if you absolutely wanted to. Again, I'm not going to do the open door trick, but here's a closed door trick. So you can actually throw your items through a closed door, and that's not going to start your 5-minute timer. So if you were worried about the ghost hunting you, You were like, hey, I just want to throw some items in there and then not worry about, but still be able to get it quickly and not worry about the hunt timer going down already. You could do that, just like that. And your hunt timer's not starting. You don't have to do any of this. I'm just going to give you suggestions and options. No big deal, but we're going to start with this, and we're just going to open up the door and go from there. If you feel comfortable using a video camera as a flashlight, highly recommend it because, again, almost half the ghosts have ghost orbs as evidence. That's a high likelihood of spotting it early, finding it where it is. So it sounds like it's going to be in the kitchen. Is that a ghost orb? No. Where was it at? Is it dining room? We hear it, so we know that it's doing stuff. Where is it at? Is it living room? And when you hear stuff being thrown, you can also look for it. Yeah, there it is. We didn't get the EMF reading in time, but it looks like it's going to be in the living room. Which I do not see ghost orbs. You know it's either going to be in the living room or kitchen. Based on, because it can interact with things through the wall. And what you're going to want to do with that is verify with the thermometer. That's going to be the best way to pinpoint the ghost room. Looking at it. Do we see it start to go down yet? You do have to wait for it to cool down some to be able to pinpoint it exactly. So let's see. We're getting closer to temps. I would imagine it's just going to be in the living room. Is it kitchen? We're looking for the drop in the temperature. See how it's going up? So it looks like it's going to be in the kitchen. Yeah, there it's dropped. So do you have to wait a little bit? You have to wait for the ghost room to cool down and wait for the thermometer to get up to the range, but that's that. So we know that that's where ghost is. It just looks to be EMF 2. We do need to check for... It did switch on the light switch, and I don't see any, the right one, right? I don't know why I'm going crazy now. It seemed like it went off. Which door did it touch? So while I was watching my recording of this, I actually saw we had dots right here. Split second. Very hard to spot. Just shows how finicky and hard dots can be to spot sometimes. Just touch the door, and that's where you want to check it with the EMF reader. Not EMF 5. Do not see UV evidence. Where closing a door will come in handy so you know which one it touched. Yeah, so now we just set down the ghostwriting book. And we're leaving this area lit to try to preserve our sanity. And what we can do is then turn the lights off in the ghost room. And make the ghost hopefully more active and not wander as much. That's the idea behind it anyways. So let's set that down. Got spirit box that we can try next. Yeah, because do not see any ghost orbs. And we are, again... Hear that. Do not see any UV light. Are you here? Are you friendly? Okay. But to get spirit box. Again, we knew that that's where the interaction happened, and that's where we want to ask the spirit box questions. So we have spirit box. Just got to wait to see if we'll have ghostwriting or anything else. Again, dots are very, very tricky to find. You can leave it on the ground. As we're just sort of waiting, we're just going to sort of hold out, hope that maybe it'll enter dots mode and we can see it. And it's just kind of a waiting game because we know where the ghost is. We do want to wait in the light so we're not losing as much sanity. We do lose a lot of sanity. Again, it could be a Moroi like we saw last time. And I may still want to hold that. Periodically, check the thermometer. So we hear the door. Do not see anything there. I don't think it's going to be in any of these rooms. We can just double check. We can do that with the thermometer by going room to room. Like, see how we go in here and the temperature increases. So we know it's not in there. As we come back here, temperature decreases and it should be the same as it is in the bathroom. Yep, temperature increases. And that's how you tell with the thermometer where the ghost is. Again, I didn't see ghost orbs. I still don't see ghost orbs. We can rule that out, I'm pretty sure. We could probably rule out ultraviolet. And there goes dots. Okay. So it's just a annoying waiting game. It can be very hard to spot sometimes. So we're either looking at a Diogen or a Wraith. A Wraith would be EMF 5. I don't know. I find it interesting that it has not written in the book yet. Oh, baby, that ghost turned right around. Somehow we went past it. Jesus. You gotta be careful of that because it's going to be a post event. There goes EMF 5. Okay. Alright, there goes EMF 5. There goes dots again, just to verify. And now we can leave.
Welcome back. There's some jobs ready for you.
Alright, I'm not going to throw anything in there. We're just going to do something regular here. We're just going to do a regular old investigation from the truck to the house. So please leave a like on the video so far if you're enjoying it, and commenting if you would like to see more of this, just to like walk through my mindset through just like a regular investigation instead of like these crazy challenges that you know are obviously not beginner friendly. But if this has been helpful at all, please let me know, or if you have any questions, leave a comment. I do always do my best to try to respond to everybody who comments. So we're looking for ghost orbs again. We haven't gotten a ghost with ghost orb yet, but you have almost a 50% chance of finding a ghost with ghost orbs. So again, that's why I like to just sort of go on and start with the video camera. It makes us a good flashlight so you can still take in the EMF reader and the UV light. Why I like doing that is so if we hear an interaction, we can verify it with the UV, and then if the ghost does interact with a door or a light. I feel like it just interacted with something. Maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just tripping. If you are watching this like later on in the year, the reason why these snowmen and stuff are here is because it was during the holiday event. So you may be playing this at a time where the snowmen are gone. So don't let that confuse you. I do not see any ghost orbs. Again, that's all that we're looking for at this point right now is just ghost orbs. So we're looking for ghost orbs. If we hear anything, we can look out for it. I don't think I've ever had a ghost be in this bathroom on Grafton. Don't think so at all. I don't know why that looked like an orb to me for a second. See, is there anything in here? No. So possibly upstairs. And again, we're closing the doors in case it interacts with something we will know. I don't see any ghost orbs, so it's kind of a good idea to go ahead and start, you know, turning on lights for rooms that you're pretty sure do not have ghost orbs. Then you can't really see the ghost orbs in the light. It's very difficult. So I would not turn on for stuff. It feels like the light was coming from this room, so it kind of threw me off for a second. I don't see ghost orbs. And the longer we are in here, the more it's going to cool down the house, and then we could start to look for our breath anywhere. Because if we start to see our breath, then we'll know that that is the ghost room. Not seeing it. So my thought is we're probably not dealing with ghost orbs unless we have not been into the room yet. Yeah, I do not see ghost orbs anywhere. So now what we can do, since we did not have ghost orbs, we can actually walk around with like a thermometer to see which rooms are going to be it. Just to give a frame of reference here to look at our sanity. Even with us walking around the whole house not finding ghost orbs, we've only lost about 5% sanity. So we're still pretty good on that aspect. Our sanity is still, pretty high up there. We're nowhere near hunting range. So we want the thermometer to start, getting up there with normal temperatures of the place. And then we're going to start to look for a drop. And now when you go into the rooms, it can be a good idea to sort of light it up so you're not losing as much sanity. Be careful of tripping the breaker. So it does not look like this room is cool. So by the time now, we should be seeing the temperature drop about as soon as we enter the ghost room. We're not seeing the temps go down there. We're just going to leave it at that. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to cut off this light. So there's no worry about tripping the breaker. Let's see. Is it in this living room? No, at the same time, you can also be looking for disturbed items. Does anything look thrown? Again, you still want to be listening as well. I thought it might have been in here, but it doesn't look like it. Anything back here? We're going to see a drop. No drop. So, and we're just going to each room and we're looking for that drop in temperature. That's all that we're doing now with this. I think it's gonna be in the storage room because I think we closed that door. Yep, and we see this disturbed. Okay, so we probably did hear something earlier. And again, this is one of the big reasons why you would want to close the door, because we saw that it was open and we're like, hey, that's kind of funky. Doesn't look like it's EMF 5, so let's go get our thermometer. Not our thermometer, our UV glow stick, and we'll just double check for orbs with the video camera since we know where the ghost room is now. We do have UV. Okay. Do have UV. Not EMF 5. Let's see. Do we see ghost orbs in here? No. All right. Very well. Now what we want to do is we can throw that down. Let's move the thermometer into the ghost room. I should have already done that, but sometimes my mind slips things as I'm trying to think about describing everything at the same time. Go in here. We're going to set down the book. We can set this in here. Start asking questions. Are you here? Are you friendly? Where are you? Are you here? Okay. Well, it did throw that, and we did not get a spirit box response. Not looking like EMF 5. It did just interact with the ghostwriting book, and it did not write in it. So they've changed it back now to where if the ghost throws the ghostwriting book and it does not have ghostwriting as evidence, you can mark off ghostwriting. Apparently they took that away, but they brought it back recently with the holiday update, actually. Theoretically, we should be able to rule out ghostwriting. Double check. Keep it in mind, but that should be the way that it works again. We do have freezing temps in here. So we have UV, we have freezing. So we're looking at a Jinn, Hauntu, or the Mimic. So was that ghost hunting? I didn't think so, but it's kind of interesting. But again, I think this is going to end up being a Jinn, honestly. The reason why I say that is we don't have ghost orbs. And if we don't have ghost orbs, we can't have a Mimic. So it should be EMF 5. Like, would have seen it, but see, sometimes EMF 5 can be frustrating to get. So there's a few things you can do. You can just go for it if you feel safe. because we know it can't be ghost orbs. So therefore, if it's not ghost orbs, it can't be a mimic or a hauntu. So you can just go for it, or you can wait to get it. And sometimes it's like if a ghost is being stubborn, don't be afraid to leave. There's one other way. There's okay. Let me explain this. We can go check the activity chart because you can read EMF5 on the activity chart. It's not doing much right now, but we can keep an eye on that. And again, we were in there all that whole time, and our sanity is only at 83%. That's why turning on lights, doing that stuff is important to help mitigate your sanity drain. So therefore, you can be able to stay in there longer. But let's just say you were like, okay, I'm thinking Gen based on what we have eliminated. We don't have EMF5 yet, but pretty sure. So let's look at what the journal says about the Gen. There's nothing in here specifically that says that Gens won't turn off the breaker, other than this weakness right here. Turning off the location's power source will prevent the Gen from using its ability. Because of that, the Gen cannot turn off the breaker. And that's something you will learn over time. The activity chart, what you're looking for is a spike of a 4 or a 5 without a ghost event or a hunt. And that's exactly what I'm talking about right there. That 6 to a 1. We're not in the house, so it cannot be a ghost event or a hunt. And the only other way it can do that is the poltergeist ability, which this ghost cannot be a poltergeist. So that's how you read EMF5 on the activity chart. Prove I am not wrong. Prove I am not crazy. We saw that spike. We're not in the house. You see that spike, you're not in the house. It's either EMF5 or a polty. This one's going to be a Gen. If you do still have questions on how to use the certain objects, I do have a full guide going over every single tier 1 starting item. So happy hunting, and I will see you over there.